In today's video, we'll be revealing some secrets of where the market is headed, some technical analysis secrets. And before I go into this, I just want to give a little shout out to my community. My name is Greg from The Investory, a leader of the best community in the world, on the net, whatever you want to say it, we are a data-driven analysis community. As you can see right here, definitely do join us on the Patreon and subsequently on the Discord, but all about it at the end of the video. Right now, let's focus on what we are here for, and let's get straight into the point. Now, technical analysis is not about predicting when we're about to do something, and people who misunderstand and expect the analysis to tell them, well, that tomorrow we're going to start dropping. That before we start the explanation here, I want to highlight and emphasize that what I'm showing and explaining here comes with a caveat. We're not saying it's going to start tomorrow. It's not going to start in a week from now. In fact, we don't know when exactly it's going to start within the short-term range. Of course, we've been sort of getting prepared and talking about it for a while now, but it's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. And the idea is very simple. If we're looking at the momentum that we're already starting to have utter loss of, and those who didn't notice, we are completely and utterly unable to break through that 59.80 area. We've been sort of, being pulled along the ceiling for quite a while now and retesting and almost moving in the complete sideways movement, retesting again and again various support and resistance levels that are stuck within a very narrow band of levels and really are unable to break out. The reality of it is, if you look at the smaller time frames, it's something that we've been preparing for. And again, if you have joined some of my lives or watched my previous videos, you would have been in the know. But if you watch here the 4-hour chart, which exactly as you've seen it on the thumbnail, what you're going to realize here is that we're finally seeing convergence of the bullish and bearish momentum, in which case the bearish momentum takes dominance and potentially will start leading us very, very quickly within the following sessions, days, weeks, whichever it is. Of course, that can mean both things, into that sort of more downwards pressure-like environment, and we will see potentially closure of the gap right here within the vicinity of 50 cents. We already seen some closure, let's call it 57.65 all the way to 56.70. Not a gigantic gap, but definitely a gap that is relatively close to us and tremendously important. We have another tiny one right here at around 58.28, but otherwise we closed, if I'm not mistaken, we just kind of got rid of all the gaps on the upside, and we don't have anything left over to be closed, and we're completely clean from gaps and ready to start correcting downwards. And if we're going to look at the momentum, as we said, the momentum is slowly preparing for that convergence, for that crossover of the forces, giving way to that bearish momentum, and of course starting to break down. Something we also mentioned on our daily chart is that we're seeing this very weird behavior and kind of very not steep but rather mellow movement towards that 50, which is weird within itself. Of course, it still can change and probably will change according to that bearish momentum we're seeing on the smaller time frames. More importantly, our weekly is coming to a final, and where we're seeing that curvature starting to be created within the momentum, basically signifying potential crossover of that bearish to bullish momentum very, very shortly. Again, as we're saying, this is probably not something that's going to start tomorrow, but within the following weeks. The warning is coming right now because it may start happening tomorrow. We, in fact, don't actually know which event will be the one to lead up to this. And in fact, it seems almost feels like the market came to the final destination checkpoint before actually having the event necessary to be the narrative or the driver, the catalyst to start moving the market lower, and that's why we got stuck moving sideways, which, by the way, ironically, if you look back literally a handful of weeks ago, I was warning that will be exactly the case. Yes, we are seeing some volatility within that same framework, but all in all, as you're identifying right here, the exact drawing, we're finally already had our larger channel on the weekly a little way back change over and spill over to the downside, and we're starting to to see more significance and signals that are implying that we're about to start moving lower. Our first step potentially will be our previously tested low, which, although not exactly testing it, but that would have been that 4818.62 that prevented us from continuing, and we got rejected by. And so what we are expecting is another movement towards that very same location. In fact, this is very picture perfect what I'm having here. This is just to kind of show the general idea of, in reality, we may easily see this price action break out of the channel the same way we've seen it here, giving more slippage. In fact, it's going to be not all that surprising to see if the price action will continue even further lower and then eventually correct higher back to what was, by the way, if you're wondering why that particular spot in space, it is because this is a significant support or resistance levels as you want to see it. You kind of see it coming into action right here at around August 2024. We've seen it taking action here at April 2024, showing itself, of course, again on February and March, and well, pretty much that's it, right? So that's what we had. So this level is already solidified quite significantly so, and so it's not going to be all that surprising to see it being retested, whether it's through the lower end of things, making it a resistance, if we're going to basically transition through that level and without testing it, or even if we will end up retesting it, at least on this end of things, it will maybe a resistance temporarily so. No one says that's exactly certainly the case, but I'm pretty certain we will see it print some, at least partially, some candlesticks that will get entangled and will retest that level, which, by the way, if you're wondering, that level is roughly around 5140 or and a bit. Again, of course, it may vary a little bit. It actually may be the 5150 level, and I'm being a little bit inaccurate here. That could completely be the 5150. That completely will not catch me by surprise. In fact, seems to be the case. Of course, the deeper you will go, the more clearer the picture will become. We'll be able to see and identify whether it was 150 or something else. It appears to be it actually was 150. So there you go. You have that level that potentially will get retested on our way downwards. We will retest that as a ceiling and then continue further lower. Again, why are we expecting that? As you can see, our weekly is already getting to that entanglement, convergence, divergence structure on the overbought area, which normally signals a transition, a spill over to the other side of things. Basically, if this is bullish, the other side, of course, is bearish, as you can imagine. On the monthly, if we will have the pleasure of actually getting the chart at some point soon. Trading me, thank you, I'll appreciate that. Of course, we were saying we're going to see some entanglement right here, which already hints and implies at us that we potentially may spend the entire month of June moving back and forth, sort of not really concluding anything, so maybe still moving into that wedge formation, something that I warned about. Although it is not necessarily the case, this may actually open up as we still have 26 days. This condition may still open up if we're going to see that price action become bearish prematurely, or because we are in our community, of course. By the way, quick shout out to all my admins: Polina, Mama, Leo, Stonks, Elron. All of you are beautiful, amazing people. I have heard so many great things about you, how supportive and helpful you all are to the community members. A gigantic thank you. And the rest of you who are not yet part of the community, I highly recommend you definitely join. This is how you join. In fact, let me put it on the screen so you'll be able to see it a little bit better. This is the actual address, patreon.com/investory. Join the 2,000 plus people that are joining very quickly and growing, literally the best, most supportive, most proper, no biases, data-driven community on Discord, the internet, whatever you want to call it, whichever one you want to choose. Out of all of them, we are absolutely, beyond the shadow of a doubt, are the best. You can actually see right now some of my members are hanging out right now in the Discord right now. You can see some of the members are having fun. Hello there, Ellen. Hello, Leo. Like I said, my admins, shout out to Tom Nash, the beautiful legend that thanks to him this channel exists in the first place. Without him, this channel would have not been in existence. As you maybe can kind of see through the banner, and all the important announcements about the academy, the one-on-one tutoring. If you want to know, of course, join in the community. You'll get to know all about it. You'll get to know about the posts. You'll get to know that I post my positions. My portfolio is posted right here. Various strategies and all sorts of really awesome cool things, testimonials from the one-on-one academy that you can join and read in your own leisure, of course, and decide whether it's for you or not, but definitely highly recommended. The intention was to hike up the price, the $60 tier, the advanced tier, a little bit higher than what it is right now. The intention was to hike it to $100, and I decided that I will keep it at least for the following month. There is one more month that I'm going to keep it discounted. It's 40% discounted. This tier will be $100 by the end of the month. Definitely join this beautiful, amazing, growing community who is, like I said, data-driven, no bullshit, no biases. We have weekly meetings, in fact, 2 of them for the advanced tier. One meeting for the basic tier, but still highly valuable meeting with highly valuable knowledge and skill set that I teach, and a discussion, and it's interactive. You get to talk to me, I get to talk to you. It's not just a bunch of videos, none of that crap. We are a proper interactive community. So definitely join us, and you'll know exactly how is it that we were able to predict all of these things so far in advance, in fact. And another cool thing, for example, I'm about to be doing a series of videos talking about various individual companies, breaking them down properly, looking at their technical analysis structure, their charts, every little detail, making charting made simple. And my community will be those who will be able to vote on which stocks we're going to be looking at. Right now, the next stock we're going to be giving a look at will be Microsoft. There will be a fully dedicated video that will be going over the technical analysis, how it correlates to the indices, and everything that you need to know about it, right? And so the community, like I said, have the ability, the power to choose these sort of things. Now I'm going to remove the banner so we can go back to sort of normal before I summarize things. And it's actually pretty simple. What I wanted to say. Wait, the banner was it really on the screen? Have I brought the banner in at all, or have I not brought it in? That was the banner, by the way, the patreon.com /investor, if I have not brought it in. Being stupid. So, yeah. So, the summary of all of this entire thing is that we're slowly starting to see the transition. And why we're saying it's going to be worse is because right now what we're actually seeing are merely the first steps of it. Some of you may confuse and think, oh, that's it. Once we move on the monthly chart and move a little bit through that oversold conditions and everything will be fine. We're probably going to break back to that 4,800 and things will be fine and nice and dandy. No, in reality, we are already transitioning. What you're seeing on a smaller time frame, a transition of the channels, the longer duration ones, that signal that this channel and this movement to the downside will be far more prolonged than you guys realize. Imagine that we are now starting a leg ahead of where we started before, right? And we are having a lot more downwards pressure and acceleration to the downside than we had. Imagine if last time around we had only this to go and we made this time around it's going to be a lot worse, a lot quicker potentially, and may result, as I said, with even further lower lows, at least for the time being. And then eventually, when we're going to break through these, we may even see, or not may, but in the analysis, the structure that we're expecting is to actually achieve even lower levels than we're currently at, and we're forecasting for the short-term sort of future. Remember, this process is going to be very prolonged, and what we're talking about right now is merely sort of the medium length events that are pretty much around the corner for us, right? So let's not forget that there could be far worse things that will come through, and those who are part of the community and been in the know for quite a while, I've been warning, although of course it's going to be not such a straightforward process, but at least my analysis leads me to understand that we're going to be at least moving towards that 3,300, which I know sounds insane to you, but if you would have known technical analysis properly. This is part of why these institutions and the technical analysis experts are so much ahead. Why Michael Burry is able to sell before everyone else, while everybody else still sits there and wondering what's going on. And when it finally happens, it's too late. You have to be in the know before it happens, not after. Know as it's happening, because as it's happening, you're going to be panicking, going to be extremely emotional, not knowing what to do, not certain. So you want to be prepared for these events, and not, you don't want to be the dog that is, chasing the car and trying to catch up, because you're going to end up hitting your head on its back bumper, right? Instead, you want to be the smart dog that sits in the car, waits for the owners to, leave for that fun trip, right? That's it, boys and girls. I hope to see you on the next one. I hope to see you in the community, and that's all I had to say. Remember, none of this is financial advice. It's just merely my own opinion and analysis, right? We do talk about these things far more in depth in the community. Definitely join us, and if you think it's for you, definitely ask about the technical analysis one-on-one tutoring, as you can see on the screen right now, what it entails, and a lot more that even is presented on the screen. A lifetime membership, various topics, extremely important topics, in fact, a whole skill set that will allow you to be completely independent and not rely on various talking heads that have apparently no idea what they're talking about, like Tom Lee. All right, so definitely do join the community, ask about the One-on-One Academy, because now I have only 2 available spots. And once they're occupied, of course, you'll have to then either block in a spot, and of course then wait until I have available time for it. So for the time being, by the way, the prices will be hiked for the Academy eventually later, which maybe I should have mentioned this. You know what, before I drop off, maybe I should have shown and spoke about this for a second. Those who don't know, there is a planned hike in the prices of the Academy. Right now, the One-on-One Academy is merely $3,000, right, for the entire thing, basically, for 11 sessions, one-on-one. You and I get to talk to each other. You get to see my chart, me explaining to you everything. Like I said, and once this is done, once the market is reaching $5,000, which is, some would realize, potentially maybe very, very soon and far quicker than you realize, similar to how we've seen the market drop far worse and far quicker than what people realize the market does. Literally in 2 weeks, we demolished what the market has done in almost an entire half year, and then in a couple more weeks, well, if you will, 3-4 more weeks, we've demolished what the market has done almost an entire year. So that can happen very, very quickly. And so definitely join the community and ask about the Academy before I hike the price to $3,500 instead of $3,000 as it is right now. And when SPX does drop to 4,000, yes, you've guessed it correctly, the price will be hiked to 4,000. That's all the community announcements, I guess. I actually pretty much kind of didn't forget anything, I think. And another huge thank you to all the admins, Mama, Leo, Polina, Elrond, Stonks. You all are amazing. Without your help, I would definitely would have struggled to manage this amazing community. And I've received so many sort of comments and remarks about how amazing and supportive you all are. That's it. And knowledgeable, of course. How can I forget? Very knowledgeable as well. Love you all. See you on the next one. See you in the community. See you in the Academy. Whichever one suits you. But hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.